Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist. Today, we are diving into some serious hot takes from none other than Reno Omokri. He has dropped a bombshell prediction on X, formerly Twitter, claiming Peter Obi is set to lose two crucial regions in the 2027 election: Lagos and the entire South South. Now, this is huge because these are areas where Obi performed exceptionally well in 2023. Reynolds' analysis suggests that Obi's own statements, particularly concerning infrastructure, might be his undoing, even going as far as to call him a trader rather than a leader. Get ready because this is going to be a spicy one. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty of Reynolds' post. He started by laying out his premise why Peter Obi will lose Lagos and the South South in 2027. Whether as a presidential candidate or as a running mate, Peter Obi will likely lose in two vital areas where he performed well in 2023, Lagos and the South South. Now, Reno then asks the big why and takes us on what he calls an analytical journey of facts and figures. His first point, and quite a controversial one, is that Peter Obi is not a leader. He is just a trader who got lucky because Dean Emeka Odumegwu picked him to be the ABGA gubernatorial candidate in 2003. Well, that was quite a strong words, honestly. He then focuses on Lagos. Reno argues, and I quote him directly, Obi won the presidential election in Lagos in 2023. A good politician will protect his base. How could you have won Lagos because of the combined Lukumi Yoruba and the Igbo votes? I don't know. Reno always use this Lukumi. I don't on all these bigotry statements. Me, I don't I don't like them. I don't know what Lukumi is, but let's continue. And then in 2025, he says Nigerian infrastructure investment remains excessively concentrated in Lagos, often at the expense of others. He believes that Obi, in essence, was telling Lagosians that if he wins in 2027, he will stop their infrastructural development. Reno calls this a threat to the economic interest of Lagosians and says Lagosians are sophisticated voters. They will never forget the unspoken threat implicit in Obi's statement on Friday, October 24th, 2025. And to back this up, he brings in a historical example referencing the 2012 fuel subsidy removal under President Jonathan, arguing that people do not vote against their own economic interest. Interesting comparison, isn't it? What do you guys think? Does Obi's statement sound like a threat to Lagos' economic interest, or is it a broader call for equitable development? Let me know in the comments below. But Reno wasn't done. He then shifted focus to the South South. He says, Obi has substantial vote in the South South, sinking in Cross River, Delta, and Edo. And what's the biggest project there right now? The 15 trillion naira 750-kilometer Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. Reno argues that since this project isn't at the expense of Obi's core base, it makes no political or economic sense for Obi to oppose it. Yet, Obi did. Again, Reno quotes him, contrary to reason and the necessity of compassion in public policy, the federal government has commenced the controversial Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. This is a moment when a committed government cannot embark on non-essential projects. Existing highways urgently needs maintenance, and insecurity makes travel unsafe. This is what Peter Obi said. Reno was quoting him. So Reno takes it that by opposing this popular project, Obi is asking the South South to vote against their own economic interest. He even asked, why didn't Peter Obi ask the president to cancel the contract for the Southeastern Railway Corridor? It's a direct challenge, implying hypocrisy. So my guys, is Reno Omokri hitting the nail on the head here? Is Peter Obi really making political blunders that will cost him these vital regions? Or is there more to Obi's statement than just trader instincts? Alright, let's get into my critical take on this. Reno Omokri's analysis is certainly provocative, and it touches on a very real aspect of politics, economic self-interest. His argument hinges on the idea that voters prioritize projects and policies that directly benefit their region. However, calling Peter Obi a trader and not a leader feels like a cheap shot aimed at discrediting his entire political career rather than a substantive analysis of his policy position. While Obi's background is in business, that doesn't automatically disqualify him from leadership or mean he lacks strategic foresight. Many successful leaders have come from business. On the Lagos point, Obi's statements about infrastructure concentration could be interpreted in two ways. One, as Reno suggests, as a threat to Lagos development. Two, as a call for more balanced national development, advocating for other regions that might feel neglected. Lagosians are sophisticated voters, as Reno states, and they might also appreciate a leader who thinks about national equity, not just regional favoritism. It is a nuanced point, and whether it's political suicide depends on how his supporters and undecided voters perceive it. Regarding the South South and the Coastal Highway, Reno's argument about economic interest is stronger. Opposing a massive infrastructure project in a region you hope to win does seem counterintuitive on the surface, especially if it is widely seen as beneficial. However, Obi's counter argument about non essential projects, when other critical infrastructure needs maintenance and insecurity makes travel unsafe, is also a valid policy concern. It raises questions about physical responsibility and national priorities. Is the Coastal Way the most essential project right now, given other pressing needs? That's a debate worth having, and a politician voicing it isn't necessarily acting against a region's economic interest, but rather against a particular approach to economic development. Looking at the comments under Reno's post is a mixed bag. Theophilus T. Shalom agrees, saying Reno is always politically correct. At Isaac Elekande points out Reno's perceived reliance on Obi for engagement. Dawood questions Reno's obsession, asking if he sleeps without if he sleeps without dreaming of Obi, and challenges Reno to contest election himself. He don't say, I don't know, honestly. This is a tactic, Reno don't put on to the hammer Obi. He's just looking for everything possible, make him take pull Obi down. See, as him just they bring out all these points. Say Obi, no one, Obi is against the coastal highway that went to the south from Lagos. He's now trying to spoil the mind of the south where Peter Obi, they say Peter Obi no want their progress. So that why Peter Obi they talk against them. Peter Obi have a point somehow. There are other, like the east-west road is in a bad shape, even though that it is receiving attention. They should have given it the kind of priority they are giving to that coastal highway. Coastal highway is good. It will open economic opportunities. It will it will bring in developments. So, but the federal government should have also focused more on the road that we are applying now from Lagos to east. It should be a priority project also, not only focusing, putting money into that coastal highway, even though it's still okay. Then we have Tunde Akerele, who goes full throttle, calling Obi's action political suicide and a politician of convenience. And finally, rebuilding our nation dismisses Reno's fact as completely not making sense to us. My take: while Reno Omokri presents a compelling narrative about economic self-interest, he perhaps oversimplifies Peter Obi's statement. Politics is rarely black and white. Obi might be taking a principled stance on national resource allocation, which could resonate with some, while alienating others who are focused solely on immediate regional benefits. Whether these positions becomes his Achilles heels in 2027 or solidify his image as a leader with a broader vision remains to be seen. So there you have it, folks. Reno Omokri has thrown down the gauntlets, making some bold prediction about Peter Obi's 2027 chances in Lagos and the South South. He argues Obi's own words regarding infrastructure could be his undoing, pushing voters to act against what he perceives as their economic interest. But as we've discussed, there are always multiple angles to these political chess games. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with Reno? Do you think Peter Obi is making strategic mistakes, or is he playing a longer game? Drop your comments below. Hit that like button if you found this analysis insightful, and don't forget to subscribe to Obas Trending Gist for more deep dive into Nigeria's political landscape. Until next time, stay trending.